Hello and welcome to JOKAKAKA. I'm Jim,
I'm Sam.
and this isn't a normal JOKAKAKA.
No, this is the magazine special, I guess. Well, everything
Well, actually, not at all.
not at all
It's
because
not the magazine
everything's
special.
coming out late.
So this is, instead of the magazine special, this is our Crazy Diamond Demonic Heartbreak catch-up.
Yes, honestly, it's better. I think to just combine the two chapters that we have here.
Yes.
Everything kind of flows better and it's more to talk about because these two chapters are definitely shorter than the first two.
We've talked about this before. I don't really read a lot of manga monthly. JoJo was like the exception because it was like, oh, the thing to do. But now reading this monthly, it just it hurts. It's hard. It doesn't hurt. It's hard.
It sucks that we also have to have like three more short, like one shot slash, because we had the Rohan, Lisa, and Iggy, which.
So yeah, the JoJo magazine also came out recently. I wanted to see that like more translated. I haven't seen like an official total like.
I guess we'll talk a little bit about that because like the main thing that was like translated. At first, like, there was no JoJo Lands info. Sad.
Yeah, sad.
And they had the villain spread, which had like all the main villains. For part 2, it had the Pillar Men, but for part 8, it was Toru and not the Rock Humans. Where Rock Humans would have been way more fitting for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Toru is just a tough. He's a tough pill to swallow. We've talked about him enough. Though.
Yeah. That's just a lot of people. That's the main thing to come out of the magazine by itself, other than more than like the manga one shots.
So I mean, I haven't looked hard enough. Maybe there is like a translated version of the magazine out, but what kind of the plan was all right. Well, there's going to be a new Crazy Diamond Demonic Heartbreak chapter coming out. Let's just lump them all together. When we didn't see content from the magazine, we were like, let's just do our Crazy Diamond Demonic Heartbreak. Let's cover chapters 3 and 4.
The only thing we got with a tease for the Rohan one shot, or the spoke Rohan.
Oh, just a tease? Or was a new one
Well,
released?
the translator released a tease of like Rohan, like basically like anxiety from COVID.
Yeah, I saw that. As I said, like I didn't look hard enough. We're not here to talk about the JoJo magazine. We're here to talk about Crazy Diamond Demonic Heartbreak.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna cover chapters 3 and 4 together. So I feel like after the first chapter, everybody kind of like I don't know, people just want to care about the main JoJo part, I guess, compared to like the spin-off and one shot, because like there's no like amount of hype they should be having for this. I feel.
Yeah, it's funny. There's very few people like talking about this.
Yeah, because
and I mean, me included, I didn't even read chapter 3 until today.
Yeah,
like I didn't read chapter 3 when it came out.
You know, cause I enjoy this other world stuff, but yeah, if people don't care if it's not the anime or it's not like a new part stuff, like they just like switch their brains off.
It's true. Well, I mean, I can't even blame them. For me, it's like I'll check it out. Like, I mean, I really like the Rohan one shots. I'm a big fan of just Araki's world and like Araki writing. This is the first time besides what's it called? What's Purple Haze Feedback? This is the first time since Purple Haze Feedback where I've actually cared about like a JoJo spin-off thing that wasn't done by Araki.
Maybe all the people got turned off because they hated the Jolene one or something.
Maybe it was so funny because that came at like a point where there was like no JoJo for so long.
Yeah, the gap between batches was like in full effect.
And then also there had just been no JoJo, and so people were just like so fucking mad about that story. It was really funny. I still like that. Every time I see that image of her, her art style of Jolene and the other character Fujiko, I really think fondly of it. Like I really enjoy the way that manga looked. I would love to see more chapters of that. I don't think we'll get any more.
Miscellaneous prison adventures of the other stand user that Pucci had.
Yeah. I just liked it. I just liked looking at I like the pretty manga pictures.
One of the discs that was in the tractor tire could have been hers.
That's true. But yeah, so just to talk about this, one thing before we get into it, it is starting to kind of fall into the trap of being a prequel where there's like, I think prequels are really difficult to do because a lot of the time you're just basing it off, and I know technically it's a sequel and a prequel, but you know what I mean. Like, you're very much
I enjoy
basing it off of the references.
Yeah,
that's kind of the fear.
But the sequel stuff is like way more interesting than the prequel stuff, though. Like all the stuff, like the follow-ups to part 3 are like incredibly interesting, and I love like the fallout from that essentially. Especially when we see we see in the chapter 4 we get the alternate viewpoint of an incident from part 3. It's like really fucking cool.
I was surprised about that, and I was kind of like on the fence because like I think I come into it like anytime, so like if it's Araki doing it, then that's one thing, but this is another person. This is a new author. He's taking these characters, and for him to just keep referencing things, it's not bad, but I'm just for me like. I think it's easy to fall back on the reference.
Yeah, I don't mind him referencing stuff because he actually is doing like some kind of like resolution to some things or like expanding something something from it. Like I think as I say, the halfway house of part 3 villains is great. I love that.
I like that. I also
I like their other bird being trained by pet. I think that's a really cool way.
Yes, I think that's really smart. I really like Whole Horse's character arc in this, which let's just talk about chapter 3 because that's kind of like the main thing at the very end of that. But yeah, like before we get into it, like I really like how that is working. I think that's like it's not just like a reference for reference sake. It's like this was a moment that he shared with Dio that is an incredibly important character defining moment for him.
Literally like Dio scaring the shit out of him.
Yeah, and it's honestly picking up the slack of where Araki left off because Araki didn't really have much else planned with this character.
Was like the last big I think Dio incident before they actually arrived at this mansion, I feel.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm enjoying that at least, but let's get into it.
So yeah, we actually pick off with a character that from part 4 that like only didn't get much because he died like literally the first arc. Is Josuke's grandfather.
Yeah, when I saw that, I didn't even think about that. Like,
which I love that. I love to see him and Josuke's relationship more.
It makes a lot of sense. Like, I mean, he's a very important character in the beginning of part 4. Yeah. At least, like, for what happens
to him. Uncle Ben.
Basically. So, it totally makes sense to utilize him in a story like this. And, like, yeah, him and massive. Boingo. So
he's fucking massive. So it's not just the Joestar blood in Josuke that makes him huge. It's also, like, the mother side as well.
He is really massive. It's very funny.
This poor gremlin Boingo is just like surrounded by these like massive cops, like literally like the whitest motherfuckers.
So, okay, what's happening here? So, Boingo is at the police station looking for his manga because it instructed him to throw it.
Yeah, either that or he just like got lost and the police picked him up and like.
I'm really not sure. Well, so
and just brought him
he
here?
Is saying, "How'd you get lost, little boy?" So they were talking about. Like, he did fill them in with, like, what happened. But the more important thing is we see, so Boingo was instructed by Thoth to throw it away, to give it to someone. Like, basically, even though it's his book, it's not really his book.
Well, yeah, he says that book was mine, but it really wasn't mine. So what is it's supposed to say Thoth isn't his stand originally?
That's a really interesting idea. I think it's more so the stand is like, it's kind of like an Anubis thing where it's so divorced from the user that it can operate on its own. Yeah, like, it doesn't need to like be tied to a specific person.
You can still, I guess, but I guess it could be because like both of him and his brother have a stand, and if that wasn't his stand, he would probably have something else.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because I don't remember him ever doing any supernatural things, right? Like, he literally just like opens and looks.
He's just a gremlin that sits there, and people take his book out of his hands and just like live with it.
So yeah, it's really interesting too. Like, seeing Boingo, like I like his reaction. He's like, he kind of doesn't know what to do with himself because his book is like his whole thing. That's like his whole character personality.
Being like fucking gremlin child and and literally carrying a book around to try to push. It's like the opposite of what like Hangman kind of thing where like Hangman and Whole Horse work together to simultaneously to do a job where he's just like he's telling one other person just do this. Mm-hmm. It's gonna work. I swear it's going to work, and then it doesn't. Just get this grenade orange, and it worked perfectly.
That's this fucking funny
so
Scooby-Doo plan. Like,
I'm glad his brother knows how to make a bomb out of an orange.
Like,
I hollowed out the orange.
But so yeah, basically what happens here, we kind of get a tie-in to the police are discussing the police inspector.
Yeah, the guy who ran through the crowd that we saw last chapter.
Yeah, so we didn't know who that character was, and apparently, yeah, he was
he's an inspector for the police, and they also heard that maybe some delinquent was seen nearby that might be Josuke. So
yeah, this causes Rohei, who is the grandfather of Josuke, to bicycle away.
Yeah,
towards his grandson.
One little panel of his butt hanging off his bike, and then also this little thing of his talking about his daughter going with Joseph. We kind of see like the one panel of her and him together.
Yeah, and I really like that little detail because it kind of is a scandal. Like thinking about how like small towns operate, there's so much gossip. Having like one of like the police officer's daughter get with like a foreigner as like her like unofficial,
and not even that,
get knocked up basically.
Japan's like also like very differently compared to like how that like, having an illegitimate child compared to like I guess United States, whereas like it's like a bigger taboo over there, where you're kind of like looked upon like I try to say the wording for it. Like, you're very looked upon very poorly for having that because like I guess it comes across as not being like a pure person.
No, yeah, I think that tracks. And it's kind of interesting to get that perspective of like, oh yeah, it's never really brought up in the story. It's more so like
a detail that's just like
a way to have like Josuke be the next JoJo, like have the through line carry over,
and just like and this is also just like him, even though he's like cannot never be promoted because of this, just like he still does his job like happily. And
yeah, that's the other thing too. It's that despite having that, like apparently that is like such a social faux pas, they won't promote him, but he still is like super dedicated.
Everybody
he's like
loves
catching
him.
Killers, like
everybody loves him. And it's like the one like I hope that someday he gets rewarded for all his hard work. Which oops.
Nah.
Thanks, Angelo.
And then we cut to the book again, and we actually see some more from the book. So this is a kind of a cool way to give us a little exposition about Ron.
Yes.
So Ron, or Rion, I guess. I don't know. I was calling her Ron.
Sure.
Rion.
Ron's about easier.
Ron's easier.
Yeah.
So basically, like the book is kind of like narrating her internal thoughts. Like basically, the one thing is that she just sees herself as really immature.
Yeah.
She comes across as mature, but we actually learn she's a college student. She's not even a high school student. We see like she's still obsessed with finding out why her cousin died.
Yeah, like the manga style cat queen with like the tongue and the cherry.
Oh my god, I didn't even fucking notice that until just now.
And then and Josuke's pompadour is still hilarious to me. I just love it. It's just a bunch of balls just like as a pompadour.
And it's also interesting too because it's like thinking about from Ron's perspective, like you pick up a book that is like predicting the future. And so basically this helps it ease her more into it by like the book is literally like telling her, I can read your thoughts. Like I know things. And then it's giving her the goal. You need to find Josuke. Like Josuke will give you the answers.
And then she like, I don't know. It's not like she's like nervous about everything. She's just like, she gets like, I guess the stand confidence and just like, it's just working on its own kind of thing. And we're like, I'm just saying the right things perfectly, like confidently.
She just has like the classic weirdo, we freak JoJo character energy where she randomly starts going on like a tangent about Blade Runner.
Yeah,
she knows like way too much about Blade Runner.
The pompadour looks like that based on a replicant from Blade Runner. And I've gonna say I've never seen Blade Runner.
I have. I think I forget what character.
A lot of people look it up. A lot of people like 2049 as the sequel to it as well. Like a lot more is.
I think the sequel is better.
And it did get an anime too, I think, right?
I think so. I always mix all this shit up. I think Trigger might be doing one too.
Yeah, there might be. There was one anime before 2049, I think, and then I think Trigger. Yeah, someone's doing another one.
Okay, so it's the main female, the main girl character has a pompadour. Actually, kind of similar to.
Yeah.
It does really kind of resemble Josuke.
It really does.
I think she's like the main.
I can't believe Josuke is a big fan that a replicant came back in time and saved him from his car, and he based his hairstyle off a replicant.
Yeah, I like Blade Runner. I think it's fine. It's kind of it's kind of not great, but it has like amazing performances.
What's even funny is not like, oh, you look like this replicant from Blade Runner. She goes like, oh, they're the Nexus 6 model in the movie. Like, oh, he's a big fan of Blade Runner.
Yeah, that was one of those lines where it's like, okay, wow, this character's like. She's really has a thing for Blade Runner, I guess.
Thanks, Ridley Scott.
But then there's like kind of a funny thing where Whole Horse is like, hey, Josuke, like you're not supposed to be threatening women. Like women, you have to be nice to women.
I do like Whole Horse just coming over here, being his like it's like Okiyatsu, but like more of like this ladies' man Okiyatsu. I just be like, calm down here, buddy. We gotta.
You're just keeping him grounded.
Yeah, I kind of love them like the shot of them being like buddies together.
It's very cute. I really love Whole Horse in this. Every time I see him,
Whole Horse is great. I love him being a protagonist in this. I love his character. Like it's different and the same. Like he grew. It's so nice to see that.
When he talks to Ron and he's like, hey, can I take you out to dinner? Like, oh, he's just so smooth. Like,
he's a ladies' man. He protects all women.
This is like what I like. If I could be like the ideal like manly man, like I would be
this is the male fantasy.
You may not like it, but this is the male fantasy.
So yeah, and basically Josuke learns the word stand.
Yeah, he basically does like tell him. It's funny because Josuke has a moment where he's like, yeah, he gets it. Like Josuke's like, yeah, it's like a stand. It like stands by you.
A stand, huh? I guess it does stand next to me when I punch shit.
And then they're mentioning like, oh yeah, there's like a comic book. Did you see the comic book?
I'm looking for a small child. He was carrying around a manga. Have you seen this manga? And she's like, oh, I've never seen a manga.
Yeah, she's basically like, we could go to the police station.
Yeah.
And they talk about, they're called kobans.
Yeah, Whole Horse tried to pronounce the word.
Which I thought the word koban just meant bag. No, that's kaban. Sorry.
I could not know.
A little bit of oh no, I can't think of it. What's that show called? The shitty like animal tomodachi what's it called?
What?
The animal anime that looked bad that no one liked except me, except everyone liked
Kimono
it.
Friends?
Kimono Friends, yes.
You were the one who was a big fan of that.
Yeah, I like Kimono Friends, but the one
I thought you said like Tamagotchi. I mean,
I almost said Tamagotchi like. No. In Kimono Friends, the human character's named Kaban, which means bag. So Koban must be something different.
So yeah, that's like because Whole Horse isn't like 100% great with Japanese. He's like
Kobans. It's very funny.
Yeah, I do. It's hard to get those like linguistic jokes, I guess, in a.
I do like that they keep reiterating that he is speaking Japanese.
Yes,
like, I really do appreciate that detail.
And then Josuke's being paranoid, looking for his grandfather, essentially. And the book tells her that, like, oh yeah, you have to slap Josuke and like kick him in the ass. She's like, what the fuck does that even mean?
And I really I love how naturally it happens, because like that's the thing, like knowing how Thoth works, like we know it always seems crazy, and then when it happens, it makes sense, and that's what happens here.
It makes sense, or like the most convoluted way for it to make it make sense.
Exactly.
But yeah, just basically like, oh, you're trying to avoid your grandfather, like, and basically they call each other out where like she's graduated, but she dresses like a high schooler because she's like hasn't got past that, because that's probably when Kakyoin died, so she still hasn't really got past that, and Josuke is like trying to impress everybody, just look like a high schooler, even though he's not officially in high school yet.
Mm-hmm.
There's a nice little like parallel between them, where like Josuke still has to grow to his character, and she still needs to get over her trauma, or like get over her cousin's death, which I'm excited to see if like how she evolves from that.
Yeah, it's a fun little character. It's a fun little like character thing now.
And Josuke says, "I'm your senpai."
Is this before or after she slaps him?
That's before, because he basically says like, "Oh, you're that little hair squiggle. Like you're just copying that from somebody, aren't you?" And then she basically says like, "Don't you fucking like."
She's like, it's my fucking brother.
Don't shit on my cousin.
My fucking cousin. And then she gives him a big old slap. I love the big slap.
It reminds. It's a line from the Korean subtitles from the Avengers movie where like, we're brothers.
He was adopted.
We're cousins.
We're cousins. Oh my god. But yeah, so just to kind of go
she
through
slaps him, but I don't think she kicks him in the ass.
She does. I know. I was waiting for that moment.
But basically, it's just like. It's just a way like, do you get all your anger out of your system now? Like,
and
calm
I like
down.
that Josuke like respects her. Like Josuke does seem like the guy that respects a woman that slaps him.
Typical delinquent attitude.
Yeah.
Of like respecting someone that beats you up as well or hits you. Like,
yeah.
And that's when Whole Horse kind of goes off on his own. Basically follows the inspector back to the police station, where he kind of learns where like, you know, oh, I don't know what happened or anything, and
he puts it together that the inspector guy was the guy that ran them down. And then he gets attacked.
He sees the bird and the stand, which the designs of the stand is fucking rad. And like it's like the best look you have of the stand.
It's a really good, like I love when stands use like real life elements in their design.
It never like showing it move or fly. It's always like stationary as well. I think that's the best way the stand can be. It's just stationary.
Yes. Yeah. Just don't animate it. Don't put CG. Don't make a CG model.
Don't show it like moving in other than a stationary pose. But doesn't seem like a stand that's going to be one that actually attacks as at the vehicle for its attacks, where it's just like the effect is like not the actual stand. And so he hears Dio's voice essentially, and at least we learned is like the Dio's voice from when he like tried to shoot him in the back of the head or try to scare Dio, whatever that plan was he was doing, and kind of scares the crap out of him, and it kind of brainwashed him to go kill the inspector.
Yeah, and I just love the visuals of like all the ticker tape just like shooting out of like his every orifice, and it's a really terrifying stand because it has like those really hyper specific rules, but also just completely like takes over you.
And as we see in the next chapter, like it's what its effects are limited to or like not limited to. It's very interesting. Yep. So that chapter ended like that, and it was very, very good. Like, excited to see where that leads into. And this next chapter is like a lot shorter. It felt like it flew by a lot quicker.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we're gonna jump into talking about chapter 4.
Okay.
And we're back. So, chapter 4.
Yes.
Came out this month, March.
Like a week ago from this recording, or about a week from this recording. But
and it's that's the thing. Like, I got to read these back to back, so like it felt very natural because obviously cliffhanger.
I had to wait.
But yeah, I mean, I really like this chapter as well. I'd have to say, like, I hate calling it by its name, like Crazy Diamonds, Demonic Heartbreak. It's a freaking mouthful.
I always say whole horse chapters.
Yeah, I'm looking at like the way that it's written out under the title, and I see Crazy D. I'm gonna call it Crazy D from now on.
I always use Crazy Diamond, but like whole horse is like the focus. But like I guess they had to do there's more I guess word of mouth if you call it by Crazy Diamond because that's the most notable stand, I guess.
And we don't know. Maybe the Demonic Heartbreak will come into effect. Maybe whole horse will die.
Maybe. I mean, we don't know. Literally anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Because we know at the end, it doesn't matter what happened to these characters.
We're kind of free in that way.
Thanks, Part 6.
So, yeah, last we saw Whole Horse, he had a big gun pointed to the back of the inspector's head.
The bird's making him reenact what he did when he heard those words, essentially, when he tried to pull the gun behind Dio's head. But luckily, his willpower is...
Well, it's interesting because he's like, well, what happened was when Dio spoke again, I wasn't able to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
So if everything goes the way it went before, I'll be fine. I won't kill this guy.
Do you also just teleport behind him as well?
I think he does.
Yeah, just to do one of those stand teases of what the world could possibly be.
Yeah, but so what's happening here, he actually is starting to pull the trigger, and he's like, a ruh-roh, like, this didn't happen before. I guess I'm actually going to shoot this guy's brain out.
Yeah.
But then he has a flashback.
A flashback.
Apparently, he was in Egypt that fateful day that Kakyoin died.
The sky full of... I like actually getting a close-up on the emerald splashes a little bit. Like, I think we got a couple of those, but like they were kind of just generic, like, emerald jewels. But like, these actually... I love that they kind of look like... I kind of thought like at first it kind of looks like like a brooch or something, but like it's kind of cool just to kind of fit in your head. Like, it's like the green emerald as well, and just like
it's cool because like what happens is he sees the guy's cufflinks,
yes,
and the reflection of the green like what do they call it, crosswalk sign,
the walkie man,
lights up the. I'm assuming that his cufflinks are probably green as well.
Also funny that like him and Boingo are like still in medical guard because his whole horse got shot himself in the head. That's what he was in the hospital for.
Yeah,
because after his last attempt. But yeah, I just love the image like in the night sky. Probably one of the prettiest like shots of like just seeing like the light up emeralds, like with that same stand energy kind of shooting them through. It's like a very like Northern Lights look.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool, and it's like it's also interesting. Oh yeah, I guess they're in Egypt. Like I don't know.
They were near the end, right?
Yeah,
but,
they were like, still in Cairo. Like,
yeah, but they probably would have been in the hospital for a day or two, especially Horse getting shot in the fucking head by his bullet.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting that they're like running away because they realize like what the fuck's happening.
And he like, pukes up the cards,
the ticker tape,
and he runs away. Luckily, none of them noticed that he was just behind him, pointing his finger gun out at him, or just like this, I guess. Like just like
Yeah, I guess people wouldn't see it. I can't remember if there's ever a moment
Only
where anyone
Josuke
can see.
Oh, and remember chapter 1 with the kid in the alleyway where he like holding his hand up and like she shoots like the bullet. Remember?
Okay, yeah, that's right.
And like the kid's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
So yeah, I guess people can't see it. That's right.
Yeah, unless you're like Josuke or something.
But yeah, we get a little bit of like Whole Horse is like remembering like
the final Emerald Splash.
Yeah.
And he remembers the parrot. You see the man that trained Pet Shop and the bird, which we don't find his name out till like the very end.
But it is Pet Sounds.
Very good choice for a name.
Very good, yes, very
Pet
good.
Shop and Pet Sounds are completely based. But yeah, it's not your average bird, clearly.
Is it named after the Pet Shop Boys? Is that
Beach Boy? No, it's a Beach Boy reference.
No, the Pet Shop.
Pet Shop?
Because I know that
Isn't
Pet Sounds is like the Beach Boy album, but Pet Shop Boys are like they were like a new wave band in the 80s.
I mean, that sounds like something, but let me double check because
that's just what I figure. I don't know if Pet Shop itself is like a reference to a song. It might be. Pet Shop or Pet Shop Boys have a good song. It's called like In the City.
Localized name, Animal Shop. Pet Shop Boys, yes. Electronic pop duo.
They have a good song called like I think it's In the City or something. Which was parodied by the Flight of the Conchords, if you've ever seen that show.
No.
But they have a really funny song where they basically just rip it off. Flight of the Conchords, really fucking funny.
Yeah. So basically, this goes into the whole where like, oh, this is not a hunt anymore, man. I'm being hunted.
Yeah.
Like shit's fucked. And then he starts hearing the voice again, and we see some women at a bakery coming out with knives.
I love this shot of them leaving
cool.
The bakery. It's really cool.
The door like swings open, just like that. It looked a fucking like Thriller music video, or not Thriller, but what's the? Oh, is it Bad? Or like I think it's Bad.
I guess so.
They're coming out like a fucking like dance, like a musical.
They're kind of doing the single ladies dance. Beyonce's single ladies.
But with a knife instead of their hands.
Yeah, instead of the ring.
Oh, but so, like people try to talk to them about like, are you closing already? I was supposed to pick up my face shoe order, and just like to you.
And she murders this woman, right? Like she kills her.
Yeah.
She slashes her throat. She falls to the floor.
So yeah.
I don't remember seeing. Maybe in the next chapter she'll be healed, or we'll get a joke where Josuke's like, glad I healed that woman from dying.
I mean, it honestly could, because it didn't. It wasn't like it was. I guess like half her throat's kind of like, but yeah, Josuke can still get there because it's Josuke. But
I just think it's weird. So okay, the whole thing is like, Whole Horse is like, okay, how am I supposed to do this? Like, obviously, I can't shoot these ladies.
I love women,
but then he makes it like his goal to make sure they don't get hurt. I was like, but that woman just got killed in front of you.
Old.
She's old. But I just think it's funny that he like suddenly now he doesn't care that he just saw a woman get her throat spilled out.
He didn't know they were going to fucking slice her throat right away. He was more kind of confused what was going on.
It's true, but he doesn't really like react. He's more concerned about these women are reenacting what Dio's slaves did.
This man loves young women, and then when they start putting the knife on her own throat, because they say So as we learn, they're inflicted with the memories of like literally the Dio slave, the blood slaves.
Yeah, who
Giorno's mom was, and
presumably killed themselves to feed Dio, because that's what they're doing. They're basically cutting their throats.
So yeah, but Whole Horse stops them, of course.
Which that is such a clever like. It's interesting to have a mind control power where you can't directly make them do something. You have to like think about like a memory that you can give them to do.
And this bird that like stayed in Dio. So basically, it's some memories of everything that's happened inside Dio's mansion, essentially.
Yeah, I think that's such a clever way.
This could be Cat Queen was in the mansion playing video games. It could affect,
Was that in the mansion?
That was in the mansion, like the basement of the mansion. He plays video games against the one Darby. Like
he's gonna be like, I'm gonna make you speedrun Mario 2.
Because like the other traumatic thing is like Vanilla Ice just destroying Iggy. It's like the most traumatic thing that happened in there as well.
Yeah.
It's also he can just. It's not like you had to be there. The bird does it to you. Like you don't have to be there to be like controlled by it.
So it seems like it could have two powers. It could have a power to like make you remember a thing that happened, a command that was told to you, or like a memory to relive, or like implant a memory that you know about into someone else.
Think about the inspector. He basically did what the senator did.
Exactly, yeah.
So
and we know obviously he's not supposed to be the senator.
Yeah.
So it seems to kind of have two powers in that way.
Yeah.
It can implant memories, but it can also like make you relive them, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. And so yeah, he basically says like there's not a man out there that loves the ladies more than Whole Horse, as she's like stabbing him in the back.
That was really funny.
He's like sweating like nervously. I do love him doing the pose while being stabbed though. It's very nice. And he just pistol whips like the girl. But yeah, it's just like, and he also can control more than one person at once, which is like, damn.
Also, I like what he does where he shoots one bullet and shatters all the knives so that they can't kill themselves.
It's so cool.
Classic Whole Horse moment.
And then, but yeah, so he's up against an enemy he can't shoot, and what can he do? And we have a menacing man in the shadows holding the bird, holding pet sounds. Yeah,
and he has like a... Oh no, so never mind. The bird has like that scarf thing. I'm not sure. I don't think it's supposed to be part of him. But so yeah, who is this guy?
Do you think, is he just gonna be? I think he's gonna be an original character, because like I don't think, like, unless he's a part 3 character coming back.
Who could he be from part 3 though?
That's alive, or like
he couldn't be anyone, right? There isn't anyone left
that wouldn't use her, because he's using pet sounds, and like why? And you have to say, why is this guy using pet sounds now, especially knowingly going after Whole Horse?
I mean, the idea would be like we're using
Enya's other son.
No. We're using Boingo, so naturally the idea would be Oingo could be used
as like a twist
villain.
Dude, that would be...
Because you could do anything with him at first, and then the reveal would be, he's
shoot him in the face,
Oingo.
And just like his face is peeling off kind of thing.
So that's... Ooh. I think that, why else would you use just Boingo?
Yeah.
And without, I guess you could.
They only have a couple references to him, but I don't think they actually, elaborated a lot about it. I'm trying to think of other male stand users that are, I don't think like Yellow Temperance would use his bird instead of just using his own stand. I don't think anything would really, maybe one of the Darbies. I don't know, but if that, again, their Darbies would be someone that would use their own shit. And it's all I can really think about. It's gonna be a twist. It's gonna be with Anne. The twist.
If only.
And I'm trying to think,
I don't know. I think I would, if I had to put money on it, I would guess.
Fake Captain Tennille's alive.
This character does. I mean, it looks like they have a kind of a slick back hair look.
Some part. Could be. Hey, but
they look like a part 5 character to me.
It does. That's
just
what I
from
got.
The silhouette of them.
It really does.
This is a good little teaser for the next one. I'm curious. You got me hooked.
I want to see.
I want to read more.
I want to see the villain of the week design you have for him, because you kind of have the Diavolo silhouette of he can look like this silhouette, but we also can just look nothing like it when you get him out of it, because it's how JoJo is.
Which I hate. I hope that when we get the reveal of this guy, he looks like the silhouette.
We'll see. I don't. It could just be it could be a part 4 character, because they have to encounter Josuke and not really know anything.
Yeah, and not be able to mention it later when they encounter him later. But
Oingo's a good pick.
To me, it kind of makes sense that you would use Oingo,
and why he would use a bird to get his.
Yeah, Oingo also had Oingo's one of those stands where he needs to have a team up. He's not super a strong offensive on his own.
Good way to bring in Oingo, or bring in Boingo back in there to have a conflict as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this really does feel like a part 5 stand too. The Pet Sounds ability feels like a part 5.
I feel like a part 8, a weird part 8 chapter, kind of
I can see that too.
Very, very much like Paper Moon King kind of thing, or just you have, it just has a weird effect on you that's just just causing shit to happen. Also like Blue Lagoon,
Yeah, I think it's really clever. I really like that.
I'm glad he didn't go right away to just an action stand, a typical.
Yeah. Because we talked about this before, but I'm way more interested in the story. I don't want to see any crazy fight scenes.
But seeing really this fight is perfect for Whole Horse, because first off, he had to get past his own the trauma that Dio first that one big encounter with Dio he had, and then also just trying to use women against him, and I'm did this user use the women against him on purpose? Was he realize it was Whole Horse that or was it just coincidence? Because if he does know him, that's a weakness of Whole Horse, and it's probably someone he knows.
Mm-hmm.
Or someone he pissed off in his mercenary days or something.
Yeah, it just raised a lot of questions. I'm really excited for the next chapter, honestly.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad this is good. Okay, that's all I gotta
Yeah.
say. I'm glad this is good.
I'm with you. No, I'm happy that this is good too. The art is really awesome too.
Like, I think Whole Horse is definitely drawn like the best. I love the way Whole Horse is like drawn throughout this entire thing. I love that way the Emperor is drawn. Like, it's the details he puts on everything is great.
Yeah, I mean, really, very few complaints.
Rio's great. The Boingo art book style is great. Like, he does a great job of like doing his own. Like I've said before, and I think one of the first 2 episodes where like he captured the art style perfectly of JoJo, but also just having his own take on it as well. And he does a great job.
Josuke looks perfect.
Yes.
Like I can't imagine Josuke looking a different way. Whole Horse looks better.
He's got Josuke's personality down great too. Of just like he's not just the hothead over the hair. He still has like a heart, because especially when she slapped him, he's like, "You calm down now."
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say much more.
Yeah, and getting to see Josuke's grandfather again is great. Like,
yeah,
it's a good dynamic between just to have him actual father, the most father figure he has.
Yeah, so I have no idea how long this is going to go on for.
Yeah.
It feels like, so we're at 4 right now. It feels like it's kind of in for more of a long-term story than like I can't see it ending in like 2 or 4 chapters.
Maybe it could be a 10-part series or something.
Yeah.
Because like it depends on like how long this encounter stops. If the guy also has a stand, if is someone we're familiar with.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I don't know how many are there normally in one volume, like 4 to 5 chapters.
Yeah, about that. Depends on how long the manga is.
I could see maybe, because these are shorter chapters, I could see it maybe being like a 12 issue total, and then they probably do like 2 or 3 tankobons.
Yeah, especially the first chapters. Like I think actually double the pages. It felt like. It depends on how long the pages are usually.
Well, I guess we'll see. I mean, as I said, I'm down for more. Like, I really enjoy it.
I think
it's going at a really good pace.
I wish more people would talk about it. It's fun. It's like it has that mystery aspect that like Part 8 had. Yeah. So like, it's fun to just kind of speculate that. Especially going through reading Part 3 or Part 3 is great.
Yes, dear commenters, you know what to do. Spread the word. Talk about how good this is. We released. I think we've done 2. So we did the first episode. We lumped that in with the Fujiko's bizarre painting, whatever it's called.
The one-shot drop.
Yeah,
the first
and
one.
then we did just an episode alone on the second one.
Yeah,
and it didn't get a ton of views. Like it. I mean, like we have like wild view counts on this channel, but for JoJo content, it didn't break 1,000, which was strange.
Yeah.
For like new JoJo content, so I just thought it was kind of strange. So I'm curious to see how this one does. Yeah. If people are actually keeping up with it. I'm happy that the translators are keeping up with it. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, a lot of people aren't covering this as much. Yeah, 'cause I remember seeing like on Twitter, like a lot of people don't really cover.
Yeah, they just want their Part 6 anime back.
Or they just want to cry about Part 6 anime, yeah, and the badgets and everything, or like we're in JoJo lands. Like, come on, man, we have our monthly content in between all of it. Like, enjoy what we have.
Yeah. I really want JoJo Lands to come back though.
Same. If they gave us just a character, it would have been like a character picture of like the protagonist. It would have been great.
Oh, it would have been something. But all right. Maybe soon. Maybe soon we'll get a reveal of the new JoJo.
We'll get a new JoJo main character first, or another crusading through Part 3 episode. Put your bets in the comments.
All right. Do you have anything else to talk about?
Nah, basically the big prediction was who the mysterious man, someone we know or not. And I think we talked enough about that.
Yeah.
So anything else? Should we just wrap it up?
I think we can wrap it up.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening to this. You can like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow the podcast on Twitter or me or Jim separately. You can also join our Discord. You can check out any other videos on our channel. We have Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, all those like all the best anime.
All the shonen trash that you love to fill your mouth with.
That we like to consume as well. So I think that's about everything.
Yeah, that's about it.
And with that, we will see you. I hope next time. Hope we cover this, and maybe whenever the rest of the one shots drop.
Yeah, I would love to do a big roundup.
We want to lump up the 3 that are supposed to be in the magazine: Lisa, Iggy, and Rohan. So
yeah, one of these days we got to catch up. We got to do a proper Rohan catch up.
I forgot I never caught up on that.
Yeah, we never officially did.
We only did like several, but we also had to do Part 3 stuff as well.
I liked kind of keeping it like in the back just in case, but I feel like at this point we should probably just catch up with
that. We have Anubis to get to in crusading through Part 3.
Yeah.
So Attack on Titan's almost done too, so we're gonna need some kind of content.
We should do like a Rohan week or something where we just go through like.
Yeah, 'cause I have to look back and see which ones we did. 'Cause I remember some of them.
I think we've only officially done.
We've done the OV
3 of the manga chapters. We talked about a few of the OVAs though.
Yeah. That'd be fun to get to. Maybe it depends on how many we actually have. Do we have to do Gucci? The Rohan goes to Gucci?
Yes, of course we do.
Oh goddamn!
Of course we do.
Can we lump that in with another one? Because I feel like that one's like short.
Probably, yeah. I really love the idea of doing like
Rohan ends up in the movie House of Gucci with Lady Gaga.
I like the idea of just having like let's just bust them out. Well, obviously we'll record them on our own time, but then bust them out. Do like a week of Rohans, like every day.
Like Titan Week,
like a Titan Week, yeah. Classic Titan Week. Everyone loved it. All right. Let us know what you think. Thank you again for joining.
Yeah. We'll see you next month tell everybody about Whole Horse.
Yeah, make sure people are reading this. It's a lot of fun. I feel like a lot of people just probably didn't realize that it was like an ongoing thing. And
what is this dojin that I found? But no, yeah,
but it's class. It's quality.
Quality. The guy who knew the guy who did No Gun Like makes a good manga.
Yeah, I should probably read that one too. All right.
All right. See you next time.